Okay, welcome back, ladies and gents. I said I'd do a video on this, so it's going to be pretty basic here. Just going to use Microsoft Paint and a calculator just to do this, because it's important to see what are the potential results. That's what this column is, result, as what is going to result from this reverse stock split that is going to take place soon. So the vote is going to happen in September. It's not going to happen immediately after the vote, but it'll take a while. It might be, I don't know the exact date, but it'll happen when it happens. So I put 3 columns, numbers of shares. So if you have, in order to get 100 shares, you will need 20 times that. You will need 2,000. So if you have 2,000 shares, you'll get 100. I'll do the math for you right here on the screen. And then if you need, not need, but if in order to get 500, you'll need 10,000 shares, okay? In order to get 1,000 shares, you're going to need 20,000. I really don't need to do that one. And to get 2,000 shares, you're going to need 40,000. And if you're holding 100,000, you went all in like crazy, 100,000 shares, you're only going to end up with 5,000 shares post reverse stock split. So we're going to look at all these different share numbers with the different prices after the split. Now, worst case scenario, the price is $1, doesn't move, right? We have to consider the worst case scenario. So you would end up with $100 in 100 shares, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. So that is the absolute worst case scenario, in my humble opinion. However, should the price go to $5, because right now it's at 40 cents, and the reverse stock split, let's just say, happens instantly tomorrow, it'll be valued at $8, okay? So if we take that into account, you're going to have 500 or 2,500, 5,000, 2,000 or 5,000. But in any case, you would be losing money if the price only stays between $1 to $5. However, once we break $8, where we currently are, once we break that level, and we head into $10 territory, which I think it's kind of the low expectation area or level. If you have 100 shares, I don't know, I'm doing it on my phone for some reason. So once you get 100, that's $1,000, right? And so you're going to be making some profit from that point forwards, from the $10 point. 500 shares, $5,000. 1,000 shares, you'll have $10,000. 2,000, $20,000. And 5,000 shares, $50,000. Let me just do something quickly. So yeah, even at the $10 level, I think you're still losing money in all honesty, because a lot of us did buy between, let's say, 50 cents, 60 cents. Because I know what I bought at, and I need it to be at least 20. I think a lot of us want it at 20 and above. Okay, because if you bought it at $1, if you bought the stock at $1, right, and then you need it to break even, it's going to be 20 and above. You're really, the lowest expectation is really 20. shouldn't even be 10. So 1 to 10, that shouldn't even be, let's just scratch it out there. Let's just, for emphasis, right? Let's just emphasize how much we don't want this scenario. We do not want that scenario. No, we don't want 1 to 10. We are going for the green. We're going for this bracket here. We're going for these. Okay, we're going for that. That's our ideal. And I'll put a thumbs up, right? So let's look at the potential scenarios from 20 to 100 then. Okay, so obviously that'll be $2,000 for 100 shares. 500, you know what, my brain is going a little slow today. That would be 10,000 from 500 shares. This is, remember this is after the stock split. So you would need to have 1,000 in order to get 500 shares. You will need at least 10,000 shares to get the 500. So again, 2,000. If you have 100 shares, you'll get $2,000 out of that. And then if you have 500 shares, you will get 10,000. You'll get 20,000 out of 1,000 shares. 2,000 shares will yield you 40,000 US dollars, and then 5,000 will give you 100,000 shares, or $100,000. So what is your profit then? Well, depending on your entry point, if you bought at less than $1, then you are making more money. Let's say hypothetically you bought at 50 cents, then you'd be doubling your money. So you'd be doubling it if you bought it at 50 cents. Let's say you bought at 60 cents. You're still making more than what you put in. But again, this is the lowest expectation, the 20. We're looking at maybe even going to 100, but let's go to the next tier, which is the $30 tier. So 30 times 100 shares, you're going to have 3,000 out of 100 shares. And then 15,000 from 500, and then 30,000 from 1,000 shares. Again, you need to have 20,000 before this stock split to get that. So 30,000, and then 60,000, and then finally $150,000. So you can see how this is really snowballing as it gets higher. But a lot of people are feeling 40. 40 will be that magic number for a lot of people. So I'm gonna, if I can put a star here, but maybe not red, yellow might work. Okay, in any case, yeah, 40 seems to be a lot of people's best guess as to where this is going. So let's even write this down on the chart itself. So for 40, that's obviously 4,000. So I'm going to write that, maybe I should write it underneath the number itself. So I'm going to do it on my phone. So 4,000. And then 20,000. 40 times 500. Yeah, 20,000. You can see how this really snowballs really quickly. So I'll go with the 40. And then from there it's 40,000. Yeah, I don't really need the calculator for that one. And then 80,000. And then lastly 200,000. So we'll just put 200K. I'll make that font a little bit smaller just so we can fit everything in there. There. Actually, you know what? Let's make that a little smaller so we can fit it in with the rest of our numbers. Okay, the next tier is 50. So that's pretty easy, 5,000. And then 25,000. And then 50,000. So just put 50K. And then 100K. Again, this all snowballs depending on how many shares you own before the stock split. And then 250K. 60. Next tier, 60. 6,000. Next tier, what's that? 3,000? No, 30K. And then 60K, pretty straightforward. Don't even need the calculator for this. And then 120K. And then 300K. I like to do this on my spare time, so if you find this enjoyable, let me know. I like numbers. I'm a numbers guy. Look at box office results in the weekend and see how movies are doing, up and down. So 70. So the next tier, let's say it goes to 70. So if you have 500 shares, how much is that? That's 35K, isn't it? And then 70K. Look at how this snowballs immensely. And then that would be 140. And then the last one would be, what's that? 350? 350K. My goodness. Okay, this is getting out of hand. It's almost ridiculous. It's almost worth all the wait, to be honest. I would say it is worth the wait. Okay, and then next is 80. If it goes to 80 per share, if it just balloons like crazy, because of all the volume, we've had enough volume to justify that. So that would be 40K, yeah. And then 80K. Really didn't need the calculator. Thought I would need it. Because my brain is kind of fried right now. Okay, we got 400K. My goodness, you could really retire with all that money almost. And then the last one is 90. If it goes to 90, like, oh my goodness, 90. All right, so 9K. And then that would be 45. So on 1,000, you have 90K. Just on 1,000 shares. And that's basically putting in roughly, I think, about 20 grand US. 90. The next tier is 180. Yeah. And then last is 450. Okay. Now, if it reaches this again, I mean, it's reached 99 to 100 3 times in a row now. So if it does reach this golden number, and I should really circle this one too. I'll do that after, but it'll reach 100. If you have 100 shares, you'll have 100K. Oh, no, that's wrong. You'll have 10K, right? Not 100K. Math doesn't work like that. And then 100 would be 50K. Look how this balloons. This is really the best case scenario. That's what a lot of us are hoping for. And then this would be 100K. And this would be 200K. And last of all, 500,000. Okay, so the results are basically all the numbers underneath it. This column was kind of needless, but I'm going to now highlight what color should this be? Maybe purple. Okay, it wants to be pink for some reason. Okay, is that pink? Can't really see that. No, that looks like yellow. All right, let's make it a nice purple. All right, so purple. So that is like the ultimate, dream came true kind of situation. But then we have, this is what most people are actually expecting, the reality, the likelihood of that coming true. And I'm going to say this is also very realistic as well, the 50K scenario. I should say 50 per share. I can see that very much being real. After which, let's make this one blue. 60. That could be, I could see this happening as well. My most realistic estimate, I don't want to make it red because red usually means loss. So let's make this maybe like a grayish silver. I really see 77 being the number. I see that being a very, very likely scenario. 77 for some reason. Just numerology. And that would be really good for a lot of people who maybe have 1,000 shares. Let's say the average of most people here is 500 to 1,000 shares, right? I'll circle these two, just give this a little bit of a border. Just so it's more defined. Otherwise it's kind of a big mess. Okay. So let's say most people do have 500 to 1,000, because I want to include the 100 people as well, but I feel like not too many people have 2,000 to 5,000 shares, so let's just circle all these together. So this is looking like a very realistic scenario for a lot of us. So again, depending on the number of shares, if you have 100 post split, you'll have 4,000 if it goes to 40. If it goes to 50, you'll have 5,000. If it goes to 60, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, and finally if it goes all the way up to the maximum, I'm calling it the maximum because it's never breached 100. It did go to 120 at one point, but I don't see that happening. So 10K at 500 shares, we have 20K at 40 per share, and then 25K, 30K at 60, 35K at 70, 40K at 80, 45K at 90, and 50K at 100. And lastly, just speaking for the masses, I feel like most people have between the 100 to 1,000 shares after the split, the reverse 1 to 20 consolidation. I'm at 1,000 now, right? Okay, so 1,000, if you have 1,000 shares, if it goes up to 40, which a lot of people are thinking that's the realistic ballpark number, 40K. Okay, and for a lot of us, we're going to be doubling our money just at that number, the first one. And then 50K, 60K, 70K, 80K, 90K, 100K realistically. In my heart of hearts, I really see it kind of finishing. I do see it hitting 40, but I'm going to make that a bit darker. I'm going to make it red just because it's easier to see. So I really feel like it's really going to, at the most, I don't think it'll get back to 90. If it does, it does, right? But I feel like it's going to most likely hit 70. But 40 to 70. But once it hits 40, it depends on the volume. Volume is really the big factor at play. So if we can get massive volume, if HOLO gets massive volume, and I think it will, once people see, the percentage gains, like 100% gain, 200% gain, we're going to have a lot of people flocking in, especially as times are really hard right now, with the economy and inflation and everything, and the stock market looks like it's going for a depression, a mini crash or a crash altogether, a recession. So this could be the sole light in the stock market besides MicroStrategy, the one with Bitcoin there. But besides that, this is looking like it might be the light in the stock market, which is ironically a Chinese pump and dump. So we'll see how this plays out. I do believe, the stock will be pummeled in the months leading up to the reverse stock split. We just have to hope, it doesn't go to 5 cents, that it stays above $1, because if it does, then that's where the shorts have a problem. They're going to have to pay up. They're going to have to cover their shorts and pay us, basically. They're going to have to pay the company. They're going to have to pay what the stock is worth. They're going to have to cover the shorts, and that's going to drive the price up. So that's it for this video. I hope this makes sense. It really helped me to visualize and see, what is the potential of HOLO after the reverse stock split. And we're looking at the results, whether it's a loss or a gain. And in the case of $1 to $10, if it can't break 10, then yeah, it's going to be a loss for a lot of people. But once it hits 20, people are just getting their money back. Most of us anyway. Once it gets to 30, 40, 50, once it gets to 30, that's when the profits start. So even at 1,000 shares at 30, that's 30K. So I would still be making, half of what I've put in, basically. But at 40 and above, which is very likely 40 to 70 especially, this is looking like a really good play. So I hope that things work out for all of you guys that are tracking HOLO. So I just want to thank you for your time. I hope this was helpful to visualize it and to see the possibilities that are looming in the near future. So just, don't get discouraged, or, don't sell at a loss. Just wait, because this is happening. The reverse stock split is happening. We have to vote on it first. And then once that vote comes in, and I do foresee it becoming, that overwhelmingly the shareholders will vote yes for proposal 1. And then we're going to see these potential scenarios play out. Most likely the 20 to 70, but it could break to 100. Who knows? Time will tell. So that's all for this video. Thanks again, and check with us tomorrow.